Hey, what's up, everybody? And in today's podcast, I'm going to be talking to you all about the fourth book in the Tiger's Curse series, Tiger's Destiny. Okay, so I'm going to read you all the synopsis and then get into my favorite parts of this book. Honor, sacrifice, love. With the end of everything, lead to a new beginning. After surviving 3 dramatic, action-packed adventures, Kelsey, Kishin, and Rin now face their final challenge to find the goddess Durga's rope of fire. But the tables are turned. The sorcerer Lokesh has kidnapped Kelsey. If she escapes his clutches and successfully breaks the tiger's curse, Kelsey will free her beloved princes. But in doing so, she then must also make the hardest choice of her life. The path ahead is perilous for all, with even more dangerous beasts to battle, and potentially fatal twists that no one could ever have predicted. Only one thing is certain: they cannot escape their true destiny. Tiger's Destiny spins a deliciously suspenseful tale of enchanted creatures, love-torn hearts, and edge-of-your-seat action as Kelsey, Rin, and Kishin take on their final challenge to break the tiger's curse. Okay, so in doing all of these podcasts, because if some of you may know or guess, I'm doing all of these in one fell swoop. Which means right now, for me, it is 2:07 in the morning, and I'm recording 4 podcasts, so yay! But by doing this, I've just made myself want to reread the series, or at least Tiger's Voyage, because I've only read that book once, and I don't remember most of it. That's why in my last podcast I didn't say much. It was only 7 minutes long, and I'm like, I don't remember most of the book. Why did I do this? So, Anyway, back to Tiger's Destiny. Okay, so, yay, Rin has his memory back. Yay, that's what all of us wanted. Yay. Okay. But now, by doing this, Kelsey was kidnapped by Lokesh. That's bad. And, yay. And so Lokesh wants to marry her and then have a son to take on Lokesh's, be the heir to the throne, basically. So he wants to marry her, then have a child. So, but so he is evil, and obviously. But so one night when Kelsey is in her room alone, and while everybody else is off doing something else evil, in the rest of the mansion, she sees a note from one of the guys, and telling her that they're there and that they're gonna get her out. They said for her to stall as long as she can. They need time. And she said, okay. And so, but the next day, Lokesh was like, let's get married today. So of course, she, she has to. She can't stall that. So, so she tells the guys about that, and, but then, the next day, they, she has on a wedding dress, and her hair is all done, her makeup, beautiful. But then, it's just her, Lokesh, and the priest, or whatever they call it there. I don't know what the heck it was. But then, they see the person standing there, and suddenly they see one of the servants who are, always quiet, he's just there, standing really close to them. And suddenly the servant says something, and Kelsey instantly knows who it is. It's Rin. So she turns, like, they turn around and Ren takes off his disguise and tries to go fight Lokish. But Kelsey kind of like turns the tables and starts to not like Rin and want to marry Lokish. And so they use the scarf to tie Rin up and stuff like that. And she even to play the part, she backhands him. And in the book it said that in her eyes she hopes that he knew what she was doing. And at first he looked hurt, but then a flash of realization flashed in his eyes and he knew what she was doing. And so they turned to the priest and started doing it. And then something happens, I forget. But then Lokish and Kelsey go towards the kitchen because they heard something. And suddenly like they use the fruit to she uses that to make the kitchen like have hot chocolate sauce all over the place. And then she whispered a command to the scarf to release Rin. And so he like comes up and, you know, is like all ready to fight and stuff like that. And suddenly like Kishin comes out of nowhere. And then like he shoves a sword into him, pulls it out, throws him back into the hall, and comes up next to them. And like they start fighting him. And they use like the fruit and the, you know, and then the scarf and like to burn him with hot sauce and stuff like that. Like I said, fantasy's weird. But anyway, but then he starts to use his power to burn Kelsey from the inside. And, but then they shove a sword to him or something like that. And then he lets go of her, and then they start running to their motorcycles, and on the way there she's using the scarf to make her like everyday clothes underneath her dress. And then once it's on, she takes off the dress piece by piece, and then they jump on the bikes and ride off. And they are like thousands of miles away from home. During the fight in Tiger's Voyage, Anik and his great granddaughter, may have been too many greats, but anyway, they like flashed, poofed, gone, and they haven't seen him. So still hadn't seen him, and it's been a while, so kind of freaking out about that too. And like they go home, and suddenly they see Nilima there, but not Anik, and it's kind of weird. But then, but then after minutes, suddenly he appears, and it's and it's weird. So he tells them that for some reason during the fight he saw that she was about to be killed, and so he jumped to her, and suddenly they poofed and were gone, like I said. So they were in this void, I guess is what he said. She doesn't remember what happened, but he does, because he erased her memory, I think. So, but then, time goes on, and Anik is acting really, really strange. Like, something happened during that time, and he's not telling them, and it's weird. So, but then, they are worried that Lokish would try and come get Kelsey again. So they're taking like extra precautions and stuff like that. But then after some time, like I said, I haven't read these books in a long time. But after some time, Locus does track them down eventually. And Anik, Kishin, Ren, and Kelsey are there, and they're like camping, I think. And then suddenly they hear something, and they all like get into like fighting stances. And suddenly Anik poofs them away from the campsite and over like 20 feet away from the campsite behind a big bush. And then they're like, all three of them are like, whoa, what the heck just happened? And he's like, no, it's okay. You know, it's, like I said, fantasy is weird. You gotta kind of like go with the flow on it, I guess. That's the only way you could read fantasy. You just kind of like gotta like believe it, you know? Because like if you don't, you're just never gonna read it. And I would highly recommend at least giving this series a chance. But anyway, Anik makes Ren and Kishin take the soldier oath from back then, like what the time period that they are from, and Kelsey doesn't know what it means, but he tells them to stay behind the bush no matter what you see. Do not come out here. And they take the oath. They say okay. Kelsey doesn't understand what it means, obviously. So then Anik goes out and fights and starts to fight Lokish. Ren and Kishin tells Kelsey what the oath meant. And she was like, no, but we can't just, let him fight him by himself. He needs help. And they told her that, then they told her that, he never asked us to take that oath before. So right now it must be a very good reason. And so they watch and they listen what's going on, and then suddenly like they actually like start like legit fighting with swords and then magic and then swords again, which is totally unfair because Anik can't do magic like the other guy can, so that's kind of dumb. But then Kelsey tries to actually like run out and try to go help him, but like one of them like tackles her to the ground and pulls her back behind the bush because they know what they know what he's doing. Of course they know. So but I think I'm gonna leave it there because I don't want to spoil anything else for you all, but I'm pretty sure you all know what's gonna happen next. Needless to say, in this series I cried a lot, but in the fourth book I cried a lot more. But yeah, I read this book. The last time I read this specific book would have to be in 2015. And guys, that was like almost 5 years ago, so wow. But anyway, you guys, I hope you all enjoyed this podcast, and please give this video a thumbs up to support my channel. Be sure to subscribe and comment if you have read any of these books before, and which book is your favorite. My favorite would have to be this book, Tiger's Destiny, but follow closely behind the first book, because, the first book was... is one of the best of the entire series, in my opinion. Anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this podcast, and I'll talk to you all again next week. Bye, guys!